In the last class, we have seen the importance of patent, why it is so important, the definition of patent, the important aspects, why one person should have patents, we have seen. Today, we'll continue with the same. Further, we'll come to know today how to apply for a patent, who is a patent agent, and who is a patent attorney. Moreover, what is patentable? That's more important thing. What is patentable and what is not patentable? Okay, fine. What is patent? We have seen in the previous class. Patent is an exclusive right granted for an invention, which is a product or a process that provides, in general, a new way of doing something or offers new technical solution to a problem. This I explained in the previous class in detail. Similarly, patents are granted in respect of innovations or inventions, that is, technological improvements, great and small, which contains at least some scintilla of inventiveness over what is previously known. That means it need not be always very new. Whatever existing you have, for that, what you can do some kind of improvement, technological improvement. Of course, that should be innovative. Then such things are granted patents. All right. These things we have seen in the previous class. Just I repeated 2 slides. Now, next question. What is the procedure of applying for patent? First, as any application, we have to fill the patent application. Now, what are the details should be written in the patent application? First thing, the title of invention and indications of its technical field. What is the title you wanted to give to your invention? And important thing, the technical details, scientific details, technical details has to be written in brief or in detail. I will come to you later, which are the things, how things can be understood there. Okay. First title, the background and the description of the invention. What is the meaning of that? The background of the invention. What motivated you to do that invention? That's very important. Suddenly you are not doing by an accident. You write it, no problem. But important is what is the motivation for that? What is the background? In a clear language and enough detail that an individual with an average understanding of the field could use and reproduce the invention. That's more important. Language is such that an ordinary person can understand what you have written and able to reproduce it, use that invention. Because tomorrow that is going to become a public domain, going to be displayed in the public domain. Therefore, a person must be able to use it or reproduce it. Such descriptions are usually accompanied by visual materials, such as drawings, plans, diagrams, to a better description of the invention. Therefore, always you need not write it in sentences. Normally, people write the engineering drawings. Suppose it is a building, it's the building plan. Or a sketch. And what is more important is, in the patent application, the applicant must mention under various subtitles what are his claims. That means what extent the patent has to be protected. That is called claim. That's very, very important. Tomorrow, once it is patented, a company must be able to produce it or make use of it. That time, what is the claims, what extent the rights has to be protected has to be clearly mentioned in the patent application. Fine. Next question, whom to apply? Whom to apply is more important. You have the patent office. Normally, it is referred as Controller General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks, CGPDTM. It's called Indian Patent Office. Indian Patent Office. Who is controlling that? It comes under the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, which administrates the Indian patent law, designs and trademark. Therefore, the patent office comes under Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Again, this department has to report to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Therefore, the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is at the top level. You can see there. Under them, the Government of India I'm talking about. Under them, you have Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Under that, the Control General of Patents, Designs and Trademarks, that is the Patent Office. These are the authorities who will look at the patent aspects in India. Now, the Patent Office has 5 administrative sections. They have important tasks. First one, Patent Office, I mentioned you as the beginning itself. Next, there is an office called Designs Registry. I'll tell you what you mean by Designs Registry little later. Similarly, Trademark Registry, Geographical Indications Registry, and there is an institution that is called Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Intellectual Property Management, which is located at Nagpur of Maharashtra. Similarly, there is another part of it that is called Patent Information System. Why we need Patent Information System? Because once a person files a patent application, patent may be granted, may not be granted, or after the patent is granted also, people must have access to that. They can look into the patent rights, they can accept it or they can oppose it, they can question in the court of law about the validity of that patent. Therefore, Patent Information System is an important part of Patent Office. Therefore, these are the 5 important tasks of the Patent Office along with this institution where they organize various types of patent related trainings. Now, I told you what is design. We'll be discussing this in detail later, but now let us discuss a little bit. Design is a plan or a specification for the construction of an object or a system, for the implementation of an activity or a process, or the result of that plan or specifications in the form of a prototype, product, or a process. So this is very, very descriptive definition. What is a design? For an engineer, it is an engineering plan. Okay. For a company, it's a process. For industry, it may be a process. Or it may be specifications. What do you mean by specifications? How to do that particular task. That is the design. It may be a prototype or a product or a process. All these can be protected under the design registry. Now, whenever you design certain things, that has to satisfy certain goals and constraints. What are my goals? After doing this process, what you are going to achieve. That has to be specified at the time of registration. At the same time, what are the constraints? When I say what are the constraints, under what limitations this can be achieved? What are the limitations? What are the drawbacks of the system? That also must be mentioned at the time of patent application. Therefore, goals and constraints should be part of the design. So, for example, if you design a building, how many people can stay in that building? There may be the strength of that building. Suppose you design a bridge. What is the strength of that bridge? Suppose the particular strength or the tensile strength is crossed, it may collapse. That also should be written the constraint part. Moreover, the design has aesthetic importance. I was yesterday also mentioning, probably you could not hear, what is that? So Taj Mahal we have. Of course, it is not patented. At that time, that system was not there. Suppose it is patented for a particular period of time, second Taj Mahal, the same design, you cannot do it. That is aesthetic importance for that building is there. Instrument is functional. What do you mean functional? Suppose you have a motor which is rotating with a particular speed, RPM. With a particular purpose, it is designed. That is the functional importance of that motor. Its economic value. How this product will benefit the society. Economic value means what is the cost of it. Suppose you have stapler pin. It is very, very cheap. It is a patented item. You have to mention it will be very, very cheap and it can be sold to the people at a very low cost. Suppose you design a robot, it will be a costly item. Therefore, economic importance also should be written. Similarly, the socio-political considerations, how it will make an effect on the society, political aspects of the country. Moreover, how it will interact with the environment. This is also nowadays very important because if you think of the plastic, at the time of invention of the plastic, nobody was knowing that it will be so hazardous to the society. But today we know how hazardous it is. Therefore, whenever we give a design of any product or process, environmental aspect as also should be dealt with. Okay. Now, I have given this example earlier itself. Architectural blueprint, engineering drawing, business process, circuit diagram, and sieving patterns. All these things are considered as designs. This is one particular design of a motor company we'll set up here, which was patented by American. There is US patent it has. I have shown you this picture in the previous lecture also. There is an example for a design. Next, a trademark. So, trademark is a symbol of the company. It can be a sign, it can be design, or it can be an expression which identifies the product or the services of that particular source from those of the others. So, for example of Tata, I give you Tata, T-A-T-A if you write, it's a trademark of Tata company. Britannia biscuits you have. To take any product, simplest food item till a big motor company, you find that they represent their trademark on their wrappers or as a distribution site or in the company board. Therefore, trademarks are used to identify services. Therefore, it's called service marks as well. For any company, that is the pride. Trademark is the pride for them. With that trademark, people identify whether it belongs to this particular company, and it is differentiated with other company with respect to this trademark. Who can own a trademark? An individual can own a trademark. A business organization can own a trademark, or any legal entity can own a trademark. Therefore, trademark can be owned by anyone, company, individual, or a legal entity of the company. I'll give 1 or 2 examples of this trademark. Say Infosys, you know, Navigate, you are next. Say if you see this trademark, it itself gives the explanation of the company, how big company. Everybody gets an imagination about the company once you look at the Infosys term. Similarly, Tata's, TATA. For any Tata product, this kind of symbol written on those products. Therefore, trademark may be located on a package. In the rampers, you can see them. On a label, as a label you can see. Even vouchers, letterheads, or on the product itself. For example, Intel company, Intel, they write on the IC chip itself. Therefore, product itself, they can write the trademark. For the sake of identity of the company, corporate companies, trademarks are often displayed on the company buildings. Therefore, it is a tradition to display the trademarks on the company buildings. Therefore, trademarks is important to identify a business, compare or contrast with the other company. That gives a very good idea about the company for a common man. Now, geographical indications. So what is important geographical indication? So previous years, earlier it was not there, but it was included because of the importance of geographical regional products. It's a name or sign used on the product which corresponds to the specific geographical location. Particularly, this deals with the agricultural products. The farmers' protection is taken care by geographical indicators. It indicates a source, acts as a certificate that product possesses certain qualities, is made according to the traditional methods, or enjoys a certain reputation due to its geographical origin. What is the meaning of this is, one particular crop may be grown in one particular geographical region. It acquires the taste, quality, smell due to geographical importance of that region. Or it may be traditional method people employed for several thousands of years, which has got traditional importance. You cannot simply copy that, try to redo it. It will not give that copy, that quality. It certainly will not give that kind of reputation to the product. Therefore, all these are acquired by the geographical properties or the traditional methods followed by the people of that region. That has to be protected. I'll give 1 or 2 examples for this. See, I've given 2 examples here. One is Shankarapura Mallige. Other one is Mattu Gulla. Shankarapura Mallige is a product which is a jasmine grown near Udupi, Shankarapura. It has got very, very special smell, fragrance. Last year, the government of India identified this product and postal stamp is prepared, postage stamp. You can see the first day postal cover I have shown here of the Shankarapura Mallige. Now, therefore, it is a geographical indicator. You cannot grow that particular product in somewhere else and call that as Shankarapuram only. Similarly, the Mattugulla, the brinjal, the very, very famous brinjal of Udupi region, that is grown in a small village called Mattu near Udupi. It has got a very special taste. Therefore, it is considered under geographical indicators. Even that was made a postage stamp last year. This is the first day cover of that postage stamp of Mattugulla of this region, particularly the South Canara regions. I'm talking about these two examples. Therefore, someone cannot grow this particular crop of brinjal somewhere else and call it as a Mattugulla, because it is identified with that particular place. That particular taste is because of the geographical region. One more example I'll give you. Basmati rice. Basmati rice is a special variety of rice grown in the Gangetic area, about 5-6 states across the Gangetic region, where the particular smell, quality of the product, it cannot compare with anybody else, anything else. Therefore, even in America, I told you, several patents they ask for this Basmati rice. The court they lost because it is a pure Indian product. That's also having the geographical indications. What I'm talking is all these things has to be considered under the patent law. Patent office takes care of all these items. Okay. Now, next question is, who can apply for patent? Who can apply for patent? A patent may be applied for only in the name or in the names of actual inventor or inventors. If inventor is a single person, in his name it can be applied. If there are a group of people who can apply with those group of people. A patent application can be filed either by true and first inventor or its assignee. First inventor or group of inventors, as the person who is nominated for that purpose, he can file the application, either alone or jointly with the other person. However, legal representatives of any deceased person can also make an application. That means one person cannot able to travel because of the physical disability. In such cases, his representative can go to the patent office, sign the patent application, and file the patent application. Next one, how can I apply? Where to go? It has to be applied at Indian Patent Office. Now, what are the requirements? Either with the provisional specification or with the complete specification along with the fees. What are my provisional specifications? Once something is invented, it's better to apply for a patent as soon as you come to know or you have few details. That is called provisional specifications. Suppose you complete the entire process of preparation of that product, then you have the complete specifications. Go and apply, because the date of application of the patent, filing the patent, is very, very important. Therefore, people try to go as early as possible. They have to apply with the prescribed fees. So, in the case of application is filled with the provisional specification, suppose you fill with the provisional specification, then there are 12 months time, 1 year time to do the complete provisions or complete details you can provide, and process must be completed. Therefore, once you apply with the provisions of details, within 12 months, you have to do the complete details and complete the process. There is no further extension of the time to complete the specifications after 1 year of time. Therefore, today if you apply, within 1 year, you have to give the complete details And I'll tell you later, after completing this, what is the procedure, how to refer it to examination, all those things in the coming days. Now, what is application fees? I told you about application fees. Of course, this application fees keeps changing. Now, I'm just referring to the application fees when you apply for a patent. This is the patent application fees, not other things. So there are two ways you can apply nowadays. One is e-filing, other one is physical filing. E-filing or physical filing. E-filing means fees is comparatively little low compared to the physical filing. For example, say natural persons or a startup, a simple person, a single person, he can pay 1,600 and apply. I tell you what is that in 1,600. For a small company with more than one people, 4,000 rupees. If it's a bigger company with more people, then 8,000 rupees. Now remember, this 1,600 is for the priority. What is the claim you are doing? If there are more claims, you have to apply with 1,600 multiples later. There is one claim, 1,600. Two claims, 2 times of that, like that. Similarly, in the physical filing, about 1,750 for individual, 4,400 for the entity, small entity, some group of people. Here it is a larger group of people, startup with 8,800. Now, depending on the priority, this and this amount of fees is list is available in the patent website. You can always refer to that. I'm just talking about the patent application fees, not other fees. There are other fees, we'll discuss it later. Now, always you should know one important person in the entire patent process is the patent agent. Why is it so important? Patent agent is important because filing the application, filling the details is a laborious process, because you have to fill the technical details. Depending on what is the technical details you have filled, the patent is valid or patent value can be increased. Therefore, to understand the technical details, you require a technical person who is a part of the patent office, comes under patent office. Not directly, but patent office conducts an examination every year and he is given authority to become a patent agent. Now, what is the qualification of that patent agent? He should be a citizen of India, he should be 21 years old, and he should have a degree in science or technology. He should be BSc or BTech or BE. That is very, very important. Patent agent should be a science graduate or technical graduate, because the technical importance which are referred in the patents are so important, it will affect the patent owner or even the company. Therefore, patent agent is an important person. He has to write an examination conducted by the Government of India. That's called patent agent exams. If he clears that exam, he is eligible to become a patent agent. For every person who is applying patent, patent agent's help is required. Without that, it is very, very dangerous to do the application. Now, who is a patent attorney? As such, patent attorney is not recognized by the patent office, but he should be a lawyer who registered himself under the Bar Council. Why is important? Whenever some litigation comes after the patent is granted, then he will help, because he has to deal the patent party and the company or whoever or infringed person or undergone infringement in the court of law. Therefore, he is important person, patent attorney. He is a lawyer for a patent holder or for a company. He is called patent attorney. Now, question is, what is patentable? I'll leave you with this question today. Can a mere idea is patentable? Think about it. Suppose you have an idea, whether it is patentable. With mere idea is a patentable. Remember, I'll give a clue. Mere idea is not patentable unless it is expressed in the physical form. I hope. Now, what are the conditions to get a patent? What is patentable? What is not patentable? We'll discuss those things in tomorrow's class. I hope tomorrow also